a total of 380 fixtures to look forward to, and here's some of the best of them. The North London derby, Arsenal and Tottenham. Arsenal against Manchester City. The title all came down to these two teams last season. Liverpool, Everton, always a massive one, the Merseyside derby. Manchester United against Man City, and Liverpool against Man United coming mid-December, December 16th. There's so much to look forward to. It feels like the season's just finished, but it's less than 2 months to go, Grella, until it kicks back off again.
Yeah, I can't wait. Those Saturday morning, Sunday morning gems, right? When you get up and have a cup of coffee, put Morning Footy on, then you watch some Premier League. You can't...
Well, Morning Footy's not on at the weekend.
You can't beat it. Oh, it's not on the weekend. That's right. Yeah.
Grella is watching the clips back on the weekend,
That's
is what
true.
he meant to say.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, no, it's exciting, though, and it starts August 11th. It's like you just said, that's really soon. That's going to be like flip of a coin. It'll be here as soon as you know it. And those games, some of them just mouth-watering. But even the ones with the smaller teams are great.
They've been some of the best this past season.
Yeah, you see how like a Wolves team or someone like that, or even these teams coming up, how are they going to play against these massive clubs, and what they're going to do. They just come from a league where they dominated the league. Now they're going to be, a smaller fish in a bigger pond. So we'll see how that all plans out. But I enjoy those games a lot. What
about the big fish like Arsenal? Are they going to tease you again this season, you think?
I wasn't teased because I didn't think we were going to win. I was just happy to be there. Arsenal's back in Champions League, secured top 4 once again. Hopefully, have some good players coming in. I'm just, at this point,
the glass
I've been hurt too many.
I've been hurt too many times, surely.
Poppy, I've been hurt so many times. At this point, I'm not trying to be hurt anymore. I did just buy my brand new Bukayo Saka shirt, the new shirt for this year. We play the Fighting Poppies on the first match of the season.
You're going to start off the season with a big L.
Need to pay you back for your crimes of last season. Hopefully, you guys your players will be able to say each other's names from the kickoff.
That's true.
So yeah, it's gonna be a fun season. Gonna be a lot of trash talking. Can we focus on the real important things though? Can you show the world your shirt, bro?
The shirt right here?
Yeah.
It's a bit blurry.
If you don't know who this is, it's Marcello Lippi, and this is one of the hardest photos of all time.
Yeah, Marcello Lippi, the 2006 manager for the Italian team that won the World Cup and also won a ton of stuff with Juventus.
Everybody's got the graphic T-shirts on. What have you got on,
I don't know if I
Aaron?
should open it up too much, but this is Ronaldinho and Adiel, his teammate from the U6 or U17 in Brazil, who decided to bring a gun into training, apparently. It was wild, yeah.
Wow, wild. Let's talk about the schedules, because as we mentioned, they came out this morning. Manchester City's, they're the team to beat every single season. They've won 5 of the last 6 Premier League titles. What stands out to you about their run that they've got in their first 5 matches? They'll start against Burnley, so Vincent Kompany against his former club.
That's an interesting one. Then they have Newcastle next. You can see it right there. Sheffield, Fulham, West Ham. So aside from Newcastle, I think you would say that's a softer start. That's a more favorable start for them. But Man City, right? Only 8 teams ever have won the treble, and only one ever before Man City just won it now was English. Was the Man United of the, I think, 99 or 98-99 season. So we've seen those spells of the Manchester Uniteds dominate, of the Barcelonas, of the Milans, when they had those stretches of 5-6 years where they basically pushed the needle of football. Right now, Man City is pushing the needle of football. So no team has ever won the treble twice in a row, right? I think only Bayern and Barca, who are probably the 2 best clubs in the world, have done it twice. So Man City, the carrot's there for them. Can they do it? Can they build a real dynasty where they go out and win the treble again? I don't see why not.
As a player, though, when you've won all that and you've had such heights to finish the season, obviously they're going to take some time off now, but it's not a long period of time off that they've got. Are they still half on vacation when they come back? Is it difficult to flip that switch when you've won so much?
I think it's difficult, but I wouldn't be able to tell you because I didn't win those things. Like if I win once, that's it. I'm done. Maybe I'm retiring.
Maybe I should ask you what it was like coming back the season after being relegated. That's when you're more at home, isn't it?
But the truth is, though, Poppy, to answer your question, is like Tom Brady, Michael Jordan attitude of like it's never enough. Like they've dominated the sport for so many years. You look at Tom, how much money he's made and what he's won and what he's accomplished, and it's never enough. It's almost an addiction. So if they can sort of adopt that feeling of being addicted to winning things, being addicted on the same page to build this real dynasty that just won their first Champions League, can they make it another one right away? And there's no reason why not, because of what they have, the budget they have, the coach they have, the players they have. There's no reason why they can't do it again. All they need to do is adopt that attitude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and they finally, I suppose, got that pressure off their shoulders now that they have won the Champions League. As we mentioned, Burnley, the first game with Vincent Kompany, that's going to be such an interesting one. Another team that's playing Champions League football again, Christine, Manchester United. What have we got to look forward to?
Man United managed a third-place finish end of last season. They had finally sort of hit their stride again. Marcus Rashford saw his little renaissance of goals there. They're going to be going into next season with first match of the season being against the Wolves, which I wouldn't count them out by any means. But then they have a bit of a North London sandwich of Tottenham and then Nottingham Forest and then Arsenal ahead, which I think will be interesting because we'll see Ange Postecoglou's Spurs in action. And I think maybe they'll get a bit of a bump from that, at least the initial burst of energy that comes with having a new manager.
They had such a good run to close the season.
Yeah,
didn't they,
I mean,
last
I
year?
think for them, they're going to just be seeking to avoid back-to-back losses in their opening fixtures. So we'll see, right?
Well, they've got Marcus Rashford, 17 goals, like you mentioned. He was absolutely brilliant when he was fit and healthy this past season. Aaron, I know you're desperate to get to Arsenal. What have we got for the Gunners?
Listen, these guys are going to have a good season. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Probably going to finish second.
Again?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Listen, where did Nottingham finish?
We survived. That was the goal.
When you
met our
look at the
goal.
fixture list, I think it's a good run of fixtures to start the season. Forest is obviously a good team, but not like a City in the first week, not a United in the first week. At Palace, another very, very good team. In London, a London derby. Away, it's another tough test. I don't love having 2 away fixtures to start the season. Against Fulham, another London derby. And then you got a derby against Manchester United. So 4 pretty tough fixtures to start the season. And then you've got Everton, another. I don't think there are any easy games in the Premier League. Let's just say that up front. None of these games are like, oh, yep, there's 3 points, there's 3 points. That's why you kind of see the end of last season. They ran out of gas. They didn't quite have the squad to keep it up, and every single match in this league is competitive. So I think it's going to be a good season. I'm excited for the start of the season. I need a few more naps before we get back into the swing of
I'm not mentally ready. I literally just took my final sigh.
We just finished Serie on Sunday.
I think the expectations have changed massively with Arsenal and with Newcastle as well.
Yeah.
They're another team that will be playing Champions League football as well this season, so they'll have a couple of fronts to fight on. Elsewhere, Grella, the new teams in the Premier League for the first time in over a couple of decades, all 3 teams from last year's promotion survived the Premier League this season. We've got Luton coming up, Sheffield United and Burnley as well. What a story Luton Town is, the 51st team to play in the Premier League.
Yeah, 9 seasons from the National League to the Premier League, which is incredible, right? It's what Wrexham is trying to do, and they've documented it really well, and it's available, you know, and you can watch that. So, but it's incredible what even what Burnley have done. They've lost their main man like Tella, the English guy, and Brownhill is still going to be there with 7 goals and 8 assists. And I like that. I always like when a team that's going to the Premier League or a team in England is using more so English players because it's building their national team as well. Burnley scored 87 goals in that season. They had finished with 101 points, which is just incredible. And when you look at Luton, their story is also incredible. And Sheffield United is a team I played against there. People don't realize how massive a club Sheffield United is. They have a stadium next door to Sheffield Wednesday, but the Sheffields it's a really great city, and it's a city that loves its football unbelievable, and the fan base is up there with some of the best teams in the country. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Obviously, we know it's not easy in the Premier League with the sort of budgets and investments that other teams are making and the sort of the quality that's there. And just how well can these teams adapt to saying, all right, we're not going to dominate the games maybe so much anymore, but can we find a way to be competitive? Can we find a way to change just a little bit? Because like a team like Burnley, who scored the most goals and conceded the least in the championship, absolutely dominated, it's not going to be the case. So what's going to be their identity? How quickly can they sort of, you know, adopt a new sort of way to play? Not change everything, but sort of just say, hey, look, we're not going to dominate like we did before. What's the way that we can survive in this league?
Which team, Christine, do you think is set up best to survive in the Premier League this season?
I preface this by saying I was kind of rooting for Luton to come up just because even their pitch at home is kind of like, okay, this is going to be a Premier League pitch. We're going in on that. So I'm kind of rooting for them. I think with any newly promoted side, there's always the question of whether or not they can hang on to this for more than one season. But that's where I'm throwing my chips for now.
It's going to be one of the stories of the season, though, isn't it, for Luton? I mean, even I know they have to make significant changes to the stadium that they have in place right now, but you pretty much have to go between someone's house to get through the turnstiles to go into the stadium. So if you're a Premier League fan and you've been following this league for years, isn't that one of the places that you want to go for an away match to see your team
it's
play?
one of those few remaining old school anti-modern football type stories, walking through someone's apartment basically to get to a match. Like, this is the kind of romanticism that we kind of seek out in the game that we don't get too much of. So it's a really, really cool story, and I hope we get to see some more things like this.
And speaking of just making it ugly, Luton are a team that can absolutely do that. Have you ever played there, Grell?
I never played at Luton Town. I think they were actually almost bankrupt when I was there, and it was a team like you didn't want to go near them because they were just like, it looked bad. The finances were bad. Obviously, the ground. I played at a similar ground when I played for Brentford, and they played in, I think it's called Griffin Park. Is that what it was called?
I think so.
Are you English or no? Are you actually English?
Grella, I'm like 30 years younger than you. So you always ask me questions.
It's always Poppy's fault.
What happened in 1950?
So,
I'm like, I don't know, Grella. I mean, you were around playing football then.
English trivia 24/7. Poppy, why don't you know that you're English?
So at Griffin Park, though, when I went to Brentford, I went from Ellen Road at Leeds United, where the stadium's iconic, and the people are amazing there as well. And then in Griffin Park, you pull up to these houses, and it's like right in between the houses almost. So it was an eye-opener for me. It was a crazy place. Now, obviously, they built to play in a new stadium.
Yeah. So. Who knows how quickly it's going to be ready. Obviously, they have to make massive changes just to get it up to Premier League standards ahead of the new season, though. But I can't wait to see Luton in the Premier League for the first time in their club history.